we're gonna start with some
And we
stream lore.
are live. Welcome back, guys, to Drake's Den. I'm your host, Part-Time Villain.
And I'm your co-host, Madisoka. And today we have a special guest from our org, Mormon Man 61631.
You should call me Mormon Man.
Mormon Man.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Mormon Man, apparently. That's my new hero name. Hi. Well, thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Welcome, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, just so people have got some kind of reference.
I mean,
No pressure.
despite
No
the anonymity
pressure.
of the internet. So I'm one of the leaders in our org, which is Jackals. I can't remember the full title. Maddie will know that one. It's a long one. It hurts my head.
Jackal.
Yeah, I work in. It's Jackals Interplanetary or something like that, isn't it, Maddie?
Yes.
The original title, something like that. So I work on the security end. When the game is a bit more fleshed out, we'll have a more fleshed out security and reconnaissance division. So it'll be looking out for bases, mining areas, and protecting people in the org doing that. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to say about myself other than, yeah. Hi.
Welcome.
I don't think we've ever touched base on that, Villain. Yeah, Mormon is the head of the security and reconnaissance. I'm the head of the cargo division, and Villain is the head of the salvage department.
Yep.
He doesn't get a division. He just gets a department real small.
Yeah.
Small, it's tiny.
Just
Can't give him too much responsibility. He'll burn the
Yep.
place down.
one man action, one man department. That's it. That's all I got. Cool. So we here today, post CitizenCon, going to be talking a little bit about NYX and our expectation basically, and what we liked it, we didn't like it, all the shebang. Maddie,
It's
so
pretty much how we felt about it.
yeah, quick question for you. How many things did we get right last pre-CitizenCon
I got
speculations?
last CitizenCon or this CitizenCon?
No, the 2-3 weeks
Or
ago.
expectations,
Yeah.
man. I got everything wrong.
Yeah.
Everything. Well, not everything. The only thing I got right was crafting.
The time.
Ooh, it's you got hot.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. You get a half point only. There was not much for crafting. It was like maybe 5 minutes, even if that.
Although
Yeah, I
to be
thought they would
fair,
show a little
because
bit
it was
more of it.
it was a small CitizenCon, you got to appreciate in terms of scale is going to be smaller anyway.
Yeah, that was.
So I think he gets a full point. They mentioned crafting and they told it was coming in. So
Okay, fair enough.
bow to you, Maddie. How dare you, villain? Honestly.
One of the biggest disappointments. I was hoping the crossbow was gonna come out. That not even mentioned. I kind of looking forward to that.
The what was going to come out?
Crossbow.
Crossbow.
You know the weapon.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not.
I know. Last time they showed it was pretty fleshed out, so I was hoping maybe it's gonna come out. But
It'll probably
it's the-
get snuck in next year.
I don't think it's the functionality of the actual crossbow that's the issue. It'll be desync or something along those lines, because the arrow is a much bigger object. You have to launch from another object within a server instance, and then you've got to sync that across multiple people's games, and they already struggle enough with guns. So you see
maybe.
desync in the gun mechanics already. So it's going to look really wonky with the crossbow, I think. So I think that's probably
Yeah,
what's
we
going to
can't
be
pick
holding
up-
it back.
To his point, we can't even pick up mags at the moment, so I don't see a crossbow coming in until we can maybe pick up mags. I mean, we can pick up other items, but it's like with the crossbow, you're gonna have to have the ability to pick the arrow back up.
the bolt, yeah.
Yeah, the bolt.
It would be nice, but like there could be one-time use.
And like he says, with the desync issues, you shoot a guy with a bolt, but now the bolt's not even there.
We can bypass
He's
this.
dead, but he's
We could have done the bolts of having small explosives so they blow up at the end, right? and then and the bolt is
He
gone.
just wants to see.
True.
I just want to
fire.
see it. Yes,
He just wants it
I
so
just
bad. He's like,
res-
yeah,
Yeah.
we can get it.
resolving the issues right there. Took me for like 5 seconds to fix it.
I'm not here to resolve issues, villain. I'm here to cause
Ah,
them. I made
right.
this very clear before the stream. Okay.
I forgot. Sorry, guys. Is there anything else you guys wanted to see and didn't happen, or happened and you were not big a fan of?
More on base building. But you can go ahead.
I was going to say, for myself, I don't like to make predictions about CitizenCon because, not throwing shade anyone in particular, but a lot of creators and streamers tend to build things up. And I feel like this year, shots fired at villain here, who's very salty.
It's all we do.
About the whole thing.
Me and Matty, all we do, we're just talking and predicting stuff. Can't believe I'm taking this personally.
I think CIG did everything they could to warn people ahead of time what this CitizenCon was going to be. And despite having given all the warnings, people are still disappointed. So I don't like to make predictions because I'd rather accept it for what it is. And that's kind of the approach I took this year. But I was personally happy with what I saw. They probably should have covered some things more than others. Because they've made a big 180 on how they usually present. The focus so far has been on features, features, and then this year the 180 is that they're just focusing on mostly on content, and the player base is used to a certain coverage of the features coming in the game, so it's a bit of an adjustment. I feel like that's where the disappointments come from.
Yeah, so I kind of feel the same thing. I noticed after the CitizenCon, the next year is going to be very similar to this one. It's going to be like a lot of story driven, and there's going to be a lot of like events kind of thing instead of features coming up. So I kind of braced myself for the next year.
I think, yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. I was expecting them to touch up more on what they said last year and at least show a little bit more, like more on base building, more on the whole new social tools, gap party system. A little bit more going in depth in those things. Maybe not everything, but more touching up on the things that could come more recently. The whole NYX thing was a surprise and a big drag during CitizenCon. I felt like they dragged out showing us NYX way too long. Felt like some things could have been shortened up quicker to explain. It was a lot of like momentum buildup throughout all of it.
Yeah.
And suspension is what I'm saying. They did a lot of suspension with it.
Yeah, I think what they could have done differently to kind of go along with what you're saying is they could have used NYX as a backdrop for CitizenCon. They could have announced it at the beginning with a short introduction, and the content and features that they did reveal, they could show NYX as an overarching theme, and so you do get to explore the system. But it's shown through the different things they're revealing, and that would have provided them with more time. They could have done the quick story recap they did, but like you said, taking up the whole first 30 minutes just saying, we're going to reveal NYX for 30 minutes was a bit of a waste of time when they could have just made that the overarching theme of the whole CitizenCon, focusing on what they're releasing.
I think they kind of had to do it because were you guys talking about the first half an hour? It was just talking about story and lore of NYX, right? But you guys looking through perspective of people who've been here for a little bit, year or two maybe, right? Or more. And you've been playing. But from perspective, new players coming in and they might not know the lore. So that I think that's why they had to cover it, because they're trying to aim it at newer player. By what you're saying, but it took it took so long out of just 2 hours. So it feels like it was kind of the time was wasted. So if they expended another hour to add maybe a little bit more stuff, people would feel maybe a little bit better. That's how I'm looking at it.
Villain was raging after CitizenCon.
He was raging in voice chat. I'll let everyone know when we
you guys know me,
and
absolutely not. Next time,
muted.
Provide evidence. Otherwise, it's slander.
I was muted. Both him and Darv could not hold themselves back. They were so that's it.
I'm a super
There's
composed.
gotta be more. Come on.
I watched CitizenCon separately, and I came back afterwards to convene with the others, and all I came back to was Villain like,
No, that
There was
doesn't
fire and brimstone.
that
and
doesn't sound like
it's
me.
terrible.
Doesn't sound like
No,
me.
what I will
Yeah.
give them for doing that super long coverage of NYX, the reason why I feel the main reason why they did it that way is because they are giving us a system next month and it's not fully fleshed out and complete like we got Pyro,
Hmm.
where like all the systems planets were done. So I feel like they did need to take a little bit more time to explain this is what you're going to get, and they did hone in on NYX and show us what we're actually going to experience. So I did like that, that they went in that angle. It wasn't just a bunch of them trying to waste time. No, they were like, okay, we got to go in depth in showing them what they're going to actually be able to play in NYX. Instead of
Yeah.
like, oh, you're gonna get NYX and that's it. And then we play NYX and we're like, it's not even fully finished. They had to go into the depth and tell us, okay, you're gonna get this, and then we're gonna show you a couple things that will come shortly after we get NYX,
Hmm.
which was like what are we calling it? The Nutcracker.
Nutcracker.
And I don't
Let's
know
go
the
with
name we're
that.
gonna
I feel like
call
that is. I
the
mean, it's
Death
called the Rock
Star
Cracker. It
mission.
wasn't that much of a jump away from what you said, but you went with the Nutcracker. Let's go with it. It's fine. We're rolling with it.
Okay, it's a good time to maybe mention when we're gonna release. They're gonna release it on November. It's not gonna be a full system. From my understanding, it's gonna be just Levski, the belt. I don't know what the name of the belt is, and couple like stations. It's gonna be
The
pretty much
Glacium Belt.
Glacial belt there. Thank you. And rest of them is gonna come in next year. Um, and well, maybe we can start focusing maybe on Levski a little bit here. Any any thoughts?
I think it's probably one of the more unique stations they're releasing, which is
Mhm.
it's nice to see. It kind of actually brings me back to Port Olisar because
Mhm.
I remember the station was organized in quadrants. So if you got a landing pad on a different pad than your friend, sometimes you just see people EVAing over the top of the
Mhm.
station to get to the other quadrant. So it's going to be a little bit like that. But this time it will be intentional. So that'll be nice. But I liked a lot of the amenities. Obviously go into the mission features around Levski later or another time, but the fact there's going to be on-site missions will be refreshing as well.
Mhm.
I think out of all of us, I'm probably the most excited because out of all of us, I'm one of the only ones here in this chat right now that has actually experienced Levski. I got to actually play it when it was an actual planet. And I would tell you, out of all the places that I've been to, that Levski has been very thought through with the way it's designed interiorly wise. It's kept a lot of its exterior structure. Levski still did have that borehole when it was a planet. It was just a huge hole into the planet. It just didn't go all the way through. So that is a cool, nice touch. The
Mhm.
inside, you guys are going to love it. If they keep the way that they did the markets and the shops, and they implement all the new features and systems like they did in Pyro, like how they have Pyro shops, we had those type of shops in Levski, is what I'm trying to tell you. So
Cool.
if they touch them up and bring shops like that where like they're all these vendors are out there, because it's cool, like you go in there and then you go through this hall, and I won't spoil nothing because I feel like they kept it the same,
So for
but you go through this nice hall, and then when you go through this hall you go down these stairs and it opens up into this huge market, and that big room you go into looks awesome. And I bet you they've done some touch up work and remodeled it, but it's going to be epic. And
for
I can't wait for it.
for me the the craziest thing is, oh, people flying EVAing here and there over that hole. In my head, someone's gonna be like, oh, I'm flying over to the other side, and Polaris gonna come through, crack him, and they just put the wiper and knock knock off the body on the side and just continue going. It's literally how it's gonna be all the time. Something is gonna be flying in and out.
Flying into the station to see a guy like, "Hi, guy,"
Mm,
go
yeah.
past your window. Um, I mean, touching on what you said about the market area, I like the biggest kind of issue I find with places like that is they'll advertise it and they'll make it like a bustling market.
Mhm.
But the issue is when you get in game, it's just a bunch of players sprinting across the floor
Yeah.
and
True.
NPCs not doing much. So it does lose some atmosphere. But I think obviously the aesthetic, they usually nail that. The aesthetic
Okay.
is usually the best part of any place. So all I can hope is eventually the sound design as well as the atmospheric design within the station is brought up to that standard, as well as NPCs having the right programming to fill that void. Because I think it's the NPCs that drag most of the gameplay down at the moment when it
It
comes to
does.
the
Uh,
atmosphere.
they T-posing or they covering in fear. Those are
Levski
two
was
settings.
actually
They brought it up. Come and get your noodles, and then they
Okay.
took it away. They took it away.
Levski actually back in the day was the only place you could get tiger claws.
See, that's what brings me to kind of idea because the whole Levski is outside of UE, right? So they don't get their stuff. They're making their own stuff. So like they've got the ship shop in there. So you think that's where you're gonna get the Shiv and all other ships because they kind of building their own stuff and all the weapon and armor thing is totally different from UE because obviously they don't get the supply, or they just slap in the standard stuff in there.
Space
see.
Martyr mentioned something the other day that I found quite interesting, just in relation to the ship shop that you mentioned. He was
Mhm.
talking about the Shiv and how he would have liked to see it not as a store purchase, but something you can only get in game
Mhm.
because it's an amalgamated ship. So because it was very lore based, and I thought it was pretty an interesting idea. But of course, the IG
Ah.
need to make money. I
Exactly.
Okay.
I
mean,
feel like
you
that's
can
their
sigh, but that's the whole basis of the project. They need to sell ships.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's their idea for these ships. Later on
Yeah.
down in the future as they come out, they'll probably be like stuff you can get from Wicklow and what's the new guy's name that they introduced
Oh.
that's gonna be a NYX.
Gray,
That's
gray,
like Wicklow. Gray.
gray.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, like I feel like those guys will be the only way we'll get these special ships like that. It should be. It shouldn't be a ship that you can buy unless a player is selling it. It should be a ship that is only earnable through missions and quest
You
givers or these traders, these
did you two
in-game
see
NPC
the?
traders.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you'd finished.
No,
My
you're
bad.
good.
Did you guys see the fan proposal about the art guy?
No.
So,
No.
Levski, you know that on the adverts there was a guy spray painting
Yeah,
the
yeah.
logo on the wall. Let
Hmm.
me see if I can find it. I'll send you the image, and you can maybe see if you can get it on screen on your desktop, Willem, just so we can get it
Mhm,
up.
mhm, mhm.
Um, but basically, it was a proposal that, like Wicklow and Grey, there would be an NPC that could create custom skins for armor and ships, and you bring him certain materials, and he provides it for you. You put it on your ship. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm just thinking if you send it into Discord, it might move stuff around cameras wise.
Shouldn't have. I just sent it to you directly. You just put it on your desktop as an image. I'm just going to send you an image.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, don't worry. You're good. I've got you, Bay. I'm never saying that again. I can't pull that off.
Good, good, good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
there
was
you go.
hilarious. Now there's so much they're bringing with NYX, like the Levski Municipal Works. Even though it's not coming in completely when we get NYX, that is something that's going to be cool. I like what they were showing off, especially with the instance leveling that we're going to talk about in a minute. I like the whole because before with Levski, as you guys find the image,
Mhm,
when it was a planet, it was the best station where you could pull out ground vehicles because it literally had a garage area. So you'd land your ships in the hangars, go up to the garage area, and then you pull it out, and then it would have a road that'd go out. I'm sad that it's no longer a planet because I thought they were going to do something more and build roads out and maybe like another little city around it. Um,
I was
but they go ahead.
no. Yeah, go. I didn't. I thought you were finished. Him. Carry on. I will wait.
No, but they just went into the space route, so it's going to be interesting what they do with that top side area. Because when you look at it from the top, it has like that T shape. That's where like the garages were. Wonder what that's going to turn into now.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this the other day actually. I With the municipal works, they mentioned that they're coming to Levski. I do think eventually they will
Oh,
bring.
whoops,
That is a
whoops!
mess, Phil. That is
You've
a
not seen
mess.
anything.
What is this? Close those
uh,
tabs. I saw those. Um,
oh my god, it's
sorry.
crazy. But
So, so I think they will eventually bring the municipal works idea back to ARCUP, and I was thinking that maybe it'd be cool if there were garages on ARCUP that were like right down in the middle of all the buildings, and you would get a vehicle, you'd get a mission marker to go find the lift to the municipal works, and then maybe could be some NPCs to shoot with the vehicle on the way, and you drive through ARCUP with the buildings towering over you, going to your municipal works lift. And that'd be a really cool way of implementing ground vehicles in a cinematic environment that felt natural to get there and back. That would be really cool. But I don't think they will do that. But I was thinking about the concept of it. It would be really cool to have.
what I was thinking would be cool if, because the gray guy, he uses like ships and parts and stuff like that. So you just go find the ship, tow it in, leave it, and get some money out of it, and clean up the system. And he's got stuff to actually build weird ships with.
That's cool. Yeah. What ships you got me today? I've got carrot.
Yeah. What do you need? You just tell me what you have got.
Let's just get through it, guys.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Okay, I'm trying. This is the last time you're on, man. Sending stuff in halfway through. Okay, there we go.
I mean, you set
go...
that desktop up for this very reason.
Gonna go like this quickly.
Gosh.
Yeah, I know. But
Look at this boomer using paint.
That's the only thing I had, and quickly. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Do you know how to zoom in? So this, just to clarify, this is a fan concept sent in. CIG did comment on it.
Mm-hmm.
They said it was really cool to take it into consideration. But it won't. We don't know if it'll make it into the game. But it's a really cool concept. So it's like you see the
missing.
They've used the Shiv skin that is actually in the game now as an example. You see, it's got all the art spray painted on the back. But you can like apply those skins to your armor and your ships. I think that'd be a really cool thing to have because they're going to eventually have custom org skins. So why not an NPC that has this ability? I mean, obviously there'll be limits because they'll have to update it with different skins. But pretty cool concept.
If I'm not mistaken, they did have a live Star Citizen Live podcast where they did mention that you will be able to earn skins. So maybe through missions and different guilds, they will give you all different types of skins and stuff like that. And we're kind of seeing it with this new patch that just came out today. If you choose Headhunters or Citizens for Prosperity, after you complete Phase 2, you're going to get their skin type. So maybe that can be a thing where they make a special trader that is like the Banu or like Gray that can give us special, unique skins that are different, that are not faction based. They're just like the ones that they sell on the shop on the website that are like the cheetah prints and the pink and the neons and all the crazy color ones. You know, those special ones that they make for Invictus and IAE and CitizenCon. Like they just have a new one on the website right now. What is that one called? It is called the Deadlock. The whole like camo, the gray and black camo, or gray and light gray with some yellow touches to it.
I agree.
Things like that.
Overall, I think they should have more places like Wicklow. Maybe not that you need to bring so many different crazy stuff, but I might have like a script or something, and you just go in and just change the script, which you can get in multiple ways, and just change it for like paints, maybe ships, or like items, maybe blueprints later on would be good.
Yeah, I feel like with him, maybe you do missions for him, and when you gain rep, it unlocks more items. They could always go that route too when wanting to unlock things, special things like that. Like we have the rep gauge and everything. We don't have one for the Banu. And I don't think we'll have one for Gray either. They should implement a reputation system in there, which starts to unlock more items for you to be able to purchase from them, maybe instead of having to get the items. You know,
Yeah.
you can
I th-
purchase it from them.
Yeah, I do think the reputation system needs work to, include stuff like this. And I think for traders, it should be sub rep. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe for Levski, I can't remember the name of the people that run Levski, but Levski people are the group of the whole system that run the system, and you build rep with them, and sub rep for each vendor.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there are specific things you can do to increase your rep with the vendor, whether it's frequent custom with that vendor, building rep with them by interacting with them more often, or specific missions for those vendors that you go off, complete, and come back, whichever it is. And that way, there's an overarching benefit to building rep with the faction. And then you can kind of, it's like tuning the faction essentially, like you would tune an engine. If you want to build rep around weapons in the faction, you can interact more with the weapons vendor to kind of increase those benefits. That might be something really cool to explore.
Yeah, that would be cool. I just had idea when you guys been talking about. See the gray guy, he should be have specific like quantum drive or something that is better about 10-20% than standard one, but it leaks radiation in your ship or something along that line.
That'd be good.
That'll be so good. Oh, nice.
Come get your ship today,
Yeah.
only
less
with
people.
20% radiation.
Yeah.
Just to help you guys out, the Levski people are called the People's Alliance.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be kind of cool. So you've got like overtuned. I'm not just thinking about like radiation only, but that would be kind of cool. Had a triple chance to catch fire, or the fuel consumption is insane. Something along that line.
I would hope that wasn't as so gamified as like 3 times the whatever, but like it would be cool to have stats that were more likely depending on how it was tuned, because I think the fault status of components, from what I remember, does include radiation or fire or electrical arcs. So that's definitely something they could do, where your components have more chance to catch fire if maybe you increase the aggressiveness of the fuel injectors or whatever you want to phrase it as.
Yeah,
But
coolers
that'd be really
even have coolant now. Now we're gonna have coolant for the coolers and stuff like that. So yeah, I could see them doing something like that. Because they even talked about in engineering that when a power plant hits 0, it turns into a bomb. And if you don't throw it out of your ship in a certain amount of time, it's going
just
to explode.
morphs into a cartoon bomb with a fuse.
Yeah, it becomes unstable is what they said, and then you have to pull that out and throw it out of the ship and get away from it because that is an explosion radius.
I just can imagine flying those ships and like your mechanic, the engineer guy, is already extinguisher in hand and just stand over this one piece of equipment ready to just spray it straight away.
No, engineers
I think you could take
right next to
advantage
power
of that.
plants, repairing them as they take damage.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think you could take advantage of it, because if you're getting pirated, someone takes you out, but maybe they don't damage a power plant that much and you soft death. You just grab a gun, shoot your power plant until it gets to 0%, and then wait for them to come by your ship and just give them your power plant. It's like, take it all.
Or it could be a modification. You've got like one big lever and just turns on self-destruct or something.
I didn't know Wile E. Coyote had joined the stream. Sounds like something from Looney Tunes, like pulling a giant handle on your power plant.
So what do you guys think about the Vandal being introduced into NYX?
Finally.
Great answer. Very detailed.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they could have really brought the Vandal in any sooner than NYX anyway, because it's not really associated with Stanton or Pyro. I'm sorry, Villain. You're wrong.
But they could.
No, I'm kidding. I think it's cool they're bringing them in. What I hope is they're keeping the FPS combat for Vandal a secret, and they will reveal that deeper into 2026. But they may be holding that off for when Squadron comes out. I don't know. But it is cool they're bringing them in.
We've seen the model like in the ASD already of Vandal, so I'm thinking like, what do they actually really keep in secret? the combat or something. That
We've
the only...
also seen the combat in the Squadron 42 demo that
Yeah,
they showed us.
you got to think about it from a marketing point of view though as well, because at the moment they're kind of facing this challenge of bringing it into the mainstream. So if the first time you fight the Vandal is in Squadron and you want more, you go to Star Citizen.
Maybe it makes
So
sense.
they want Squadron to be the gateway game, so they need to hold some stuff back. Then release it in Star Citizen, so it's kind of leads you in there. You know, it could be part
They
of their
didn't show.
marketing journey.
They did show the FPS missions, yeah, didn't they? How we're
They
gonna
Uh,
be
shared
infiltrating the
FPS
inside.
missions.
it was...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a couple of years ago.
We're
Yes.
fighting the gang. We're fighting the new gang that's in there. So yeah, I feel
There was a Vandal.
maybe
There was a
they
Vandal
could throw
boarding
in there.
pod, which makes me. That's why I'm saying they may reveal it as a surprise for a patch in the future in 2026. Because I don't know if you remember, but during the video of them entering the station and fighting the wreckers, there was a Vandal boarding pod cutting into the station that they walked past. So that makes me think that maybe the Vandal FPS gameplay is going to be in at some point in 2026, maybe late 2026.
I think. Well, whenever that Death Star style mission comes in, I feel like they're going, and they said that's late in the year, anyways. That's going to be
Tactical strike.
probably right after Squadron 42 comes out. Squad. I'll say it now. Squadron 42 is going to come out, and then they'll throw a patch with Vandals in it, which is that mission. That mission will have the Vandal when that huge ship comes out.
Well, the strike team is coming out mid-year, not end-year. Well, that's what they said. Of course, that is subject to change.
Because there's never delays in,
They're always on time, guys.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
never
when
missed a deadline that they didn't move.
whenever they say a patch, I add it 6 months usually, just to be on the safe side. Usually what happens. Okay, let's move to Genesis. How did you guys like that?
That was my favorite part of the whole entire CitizenCon.
That was the highlight.
Yeah, it
for me as well.
looked really, really good. So from
because you'll be able to drive without crashing every 5
Oh
seconds.
no, that's not part of Genesis. It's not part tech.
Yes, it is.
Would be
You're
great.
wrong.
It would be
I'm going to
great.
correct you.
Would be great, but
Okay.
I'm not holding my breath.
Are you
Alright,
saying
so-
something about my driving, villain? Are you saying that I'm going to crash anyway?
Yes, I think that's what he is saying. So
Oh.
I'll break it down. What we're getting in November, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna get Vulcan. It's gonna come out of beta. It's gonna come fully in with the NYX patch, which will give us all the new graphical stuff, and then which that underlines the new Genesis tech. When we get the new Genesis tech, the first planet will be NYX 1 with it. That's to pre-test on how well it is. And it's looking gorgeous. I can't wait. Yes, it'll have all the rock fixes. There will be areas that you'll probably fly through and drive through like we've seen in the preview. There was that one very rocky, deserty looking area, and there was still rock scattered in the plains. But that's because that's not an area that you would drive through. But every shot that they showed grassland plains, I barely saw a rock ever in that grassland plain. Like, even tiny ones or small ones. And the new grass, that's one thing. Wow, is that thing beautiful.
Yeah.
As someone who loves environmental art, that was my favorite section because Jesus, was that beautiful.
I think for me the best one was the swamp slash wetlands. That looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all precision generated.
There was on the swampland part. I don't know if you guys saw, but there was this like big towering thing at the back.
Yeah.
It just kind of looked like
Yeah.
a big worm. Not sure what it was. Maybe just like a really odd mangrove tree that's grown really large. But
I hope they add in baby Yermandis and maybe adult Yermandis into
And
those swamps.
swamps, yeah, would be so good, man.
that'd be really cool.
Where they pop out of the water.
Or they don't
I
even
hope
need to pop up. If you make them small, right? Let's say a snake, they can just go be in water, right? And then it will be easier for them to implement it into it. So then if you go into water, you actually might get damaged.
Yeah, what I hope to see soon, really, to be honest, and I think this would really complete the environments because Genesis is great. The plant looked amazing, but I'm just kind of hoping that they start to implement the wildlife more after that comes in, because obviously a
Yep.
lot of the animals that they need to put in will be dependent on the data sets they're building the planets with, which I understand. But even the most beautiful landscape you could ever create feels empty without any life at all.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, we've got the grazers, but they don't really migrate like they're supposed to. They're not in larger numbers as originally planned. I think Chris Roberts' first vision of the animals was like hundreds and hundreds of grazers migrating from one part of the planet to the other in real time. Now, the reality of that might be completely different. It might be something they can't do even, but it would bring life to an otherwise lifeless planet right now. Like as
Mm.
beautiful as microtech is, half the time you're just flying around mountains. Um, and I want NYX to have that life in it. Like yeah,
Mm.
like your Mandy's coming out of the swamp, or an apex creatures being part of the environment. That they're not like percentages where it's like you've got a 2% chance of a apex your Mandy spawning, but they live in the environment in a certain area.
Mm.
Exactly.
And you clear the
It,
area. And yes, there are smaller ones, and maybe over time the apex gets replaced by a growing Yormandi that takes its place in like a week or 2 weeks. So it's not like a percentage spawn; it's it lives here kind
Yeah,
of thing.
it would be good if then if you kill it, it kind of goes away, and you need to wait. I don't know,
Exactly.
certain amount of time for them to grow up. Yeah, yeah, it would be good.
Yeah, and you could have like a wildlife notification on your mobile glass that says, "Oh, apex Yormandi sighted in this swamp at these coordinates," so that when it does respawn, there's an in-law notification that it's there. That'd be
Mm.
really cool. You know what I
so
mean?
what you guys are explaining is a back-end simulation system, which it can be done. Uh, it's done already in certain game engines. I hope that's their plan after they create all the animal assets, that they run a back-end simulation system where off of the Genesis data, it runs like an ecosystem of how the animals move, and they got to move to where food is and towards water and stuff like that, and they live an actual life cycle. Uh, the behind the scenes work would be running that simulation, but making sure that when no players are around, the simulation still runs, but as all assets are rendered out, and it just
Yeah. What?
runs the actual calculation simulation until a player comes into the bubble, and then it'll render them in. So, like your example, them moving and migrating, they could run that simulation, but if there's no players around, the simulation can still be running.
Yeah.
So that's low performance until a player pops in, and then it'll start showing them as they're moving across and stuff like that. I hope they
Oh,
do
oh,
go in that direction. That would be really nice.
Mm.
yeah. Well, I think that's what Chris wanted. It's just hard to make a game. It's hard to make a game. It's not easy.
The
Their
thing,
scale is crazy.
the thing I'm looking forward to actually the Genesis is at that point, from my understanding, the whole quality of resources start popping in because that's what is going to be generating them. So if you get iron, you get specific quality of iron. So I'm hoping at that point we're gonna get closer, one step closer to the crafting time. That's kind of the most.
So
Yeah, I go.
sorry. So with Genesis, it's going to open up all the doors for everything. Just like you said, it's going to do the whole ore reset. Now that they have a planet, it's fully customized towards their presets off of all their data sets of the weather. Here, it's right here. Well, the mountain, the weather, the blending of tiles, the soil, the dirt, the grass. Now that they have all of that and where the rocks and everything get placed, Um, that'll bring in base building. It can bring in crafting. It's going to bring in um, the ore refinement and the quality because now they can place it all because they have that back end data of like where things need to be placed. Right now, planets, they're so sloppy because they just randomly place things. It's just random paintbrush over it, pretty much, to scatter it in a sense. And it's set randomly. Now they can preset it to a biome. Oh, these certain ores are only found in the snow biomes, and it'll always spawn because the snow biome is going to spawn due to the temperature. the sets that they have now is just like temperature and height data, where the
One,
new one is like 12 different things
yeah.
added into
I
it.
mean, one thing that I'm hoping to see as part of Gen 5 is less unified land masses.
Hmm.
Because right now, there's no planet that looks anything like, well, like for instance, Earth-like planets like Microtech and
Hurston.
Hurston. So thank you, or Pyro 4. Their land masses are so unified when on a lot of planets, especially like a one that's supporting life, they would be a lot like Earth. They'd have tectonic plates, they'd have land separation, they'd have oceans and seas, and we don't really have that. We have lakes on Microtech, but
Mm.
if you really look at the planet, the whole planet is a unified land mass.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm not saying there couldn't be a planet like that, but it just seems like they haven't got to the point where they can create that right now because there's a lot of water. You know, it's a lot of water to simulate on
Yeah.
a planet.
When it comes to the water, the one thing I didn't see is any rivers in there. So I don't know if they got that on in yet, or they just chose not to show it.
Oh,
Any
they were there.
They were there.
any what? Sorry.
Rivers.
Rivers. Yeah, they were
Oh,
there. I
rivers.
saw a bunch of them.
So the thing with rivers and roads and things like that, they've shown the tech off and they've shown that they can do it,
Mm.
but they only really implemented them once, and the reason for that is because they were again unifying the tool for Genesis.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't seen any. I think, like as Maddie said, there were some rivers on NYX
Hmm.
one. I think that's how we're going to see them because they're going to be driven by data.
Mm.
I think they were going to do a lot of rivers, and then they realized that they wanted to wait.
Yeah.
So
So cool, cool.
Their plan, what I feel their plan with just bringing in one planet, Genesis VTech 5, is so that they can gather data because they know everyone's going to rush to that one planet that looks the best, that has all the new stuff in it. So guess what you're going to get? Massive amounts of data. With all that data, they can take that and tweak every other planet to make sure that it comes out better. I feel like they took a lot of time on Nyx 1, and that's why it's only one planet that's been done with Genesis Tech 5. With
I mean,
V5, I feel they only did Nyx 1, right?
hmm,
And that's just to hone in on tech itself. And we're just going to be testing out Planet Tech V5 through Nyx 1 all next year so that it can be perfected so that they can update every other planet. Because if they were just sit here and do what they did last time when they did a planet remodel, uh, it'd be a nightmare because it's going to change a lot. It's going to change the way the mountains looks. It's going to change every rock placement, every tree placement, every placement of a bush, grass. Even the facilities themselves will change with Planet Tech V5. It's going to retexture the whole entire planet, so it's going to set new layers and it's going to change the way the ground looks itself. So it's going to like kind of bump up and make everything look better. But that's why they're just honing in on Nyx 1. Probably doesn't even have a bunch of locations you can quantum to for that reason. I mean, they probably did make a couple, but they're gonna hone this in so that they can update every other planet.
well, you can see the optimization efforts they've been making if you track back through CitizenCons over the last 3 to 4 years. Last year, they showed the optimizations around forests.
Hmm.
You can even see on Microtech now they've already started to implement that, and they've been testing that out under the radar. But their ability to render more trees in more places in tighter clusters that was shown off last year. The the rivers, as another example, they were testing out how the land would model around rivers automatically. They showed that off in a CitizenCon. They even have the river guy, or what was it?
He's the
His
one that
nickname
showed
was
off Planet.
yeah,
I
Moist
think,
Master, whatever his name is.
yeah, Moist Master.
um, but yeah, so you can if you pay attention to how things have progressed from CitizenCon to CitizenCon, you can see the efforts they've been making to optimize the tools for making Genesis and Planet Tech V5 and things like that. So whether when it does come in, there'll be less issues around that, which would be nice. Like the tiling they showed off from orbital, mid, and close views at this CitizenCon. I feel like that was a development upon the same tech they use for trees. Because if you look at that video, it's a very similar idea, very similar concept of different um, detailed tiles. iZero has shared a YouTube video.
Yeah, if you click on
CitizenCon.
his link, he's time-stamped it to the part where it cuts through the river that they show on NYX 1, so we can show stream the new, the updated river tech a little bit, because it does look really nice.
Okay, give me a sec. We're gonna try.
Oh no, villain's gonna try
Oh
a thing.
yeah. Because this
Get
is.
ready.
I don't have this open in my thing. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine.
This is where it all falls apart, guys.
Yeah, I said biomes will be created based on physical data sets and assets
Yeah.
spawned around points that meet certain criteria, changing whole worlds, pretty much. Yep.
I've got an
Yep.
idea.
Well, they're going to do NYX and then go back and do Microtech based on that. I'm looking forward to how Microtech changes based on that information. That'll be really interesting.
I will tell you, it's changed 4 or 5 times this year. I've been going to my certain location that has a river and a lake, and when they did the tree change, all the tree placements are different and it looks way more natural.
Just got
And
this
then they
image
did
of
the
you just
ground
on the edge of the
texture
lake, like
change.
that tree wasn't there last time. That's not
No,
my
because
tree.
there's this lake, and there's
Oh,
this
God,
river
that's
that comes
scary.
down it from the mountain. And
Hmm.
they had the trees like just, it
Oh.
looked like someone grabbed a square format brush and had tree assets on it and just clicked right over the lake because it was squared out. Now it's like naturally blending out and like thinning out, and then the ground textures too have been touched up a little bit. Go back a bit.
I think it was 10 hour 10. So
Right there.
Yeah,
Right
there
there.
we go. Is that the river? Okay, I thought it was just like a.
Yeah, that's the river.
Oh, okay.
Watch, he cuts through and it's going alongside the mountain.
I thought it was more like a kind of pond thing, but cool.
Mm-mm. The river. See, because there it comes there from the
Mhm.
mountain valley.
The mountains do look a lot better as well, which I like.
Yes.
No, they actually look like a mountain, not like a small hill. What we've got right now, which you can kind of walk on.
You're gonna
there are
see the
mountains that
aspect
look
of it.
like that. It's just not every mountain
Yeah,
looks like a like a
See, look at
triangle.
the
You
tree
know?
placement now and
Mm.
the different types of grass that you got. You got the dead grass with the fresh grass blended
Looks
into
like
each
English
other
countryside in
properly.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what you
Yeah, that's
expect
where
to see
they
in
got a
English
lot of their,
countryside.
yep, they got a lot of their inspiration from that, I
Yeah.
bet.
British countryside's got quasi grazers as well, if you like pay attention.
I know it does.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move to one of my favorite bits. Missions. They're actually going to be introducing in new year. So, what do you guys think about the missions?
These new missions.
Go ahead, Maddie. You
You
go
go ahead,
first.
Warren. You go ahead.
I don't want to. You go first.
Okay, then I will.
Don't tell me what
These
to
new
do.
missions, they seem like they're going to be fun, and as they bring out all the missions they talked about throughout CitizenCon, um, it looks like we're going to have a lot of good, more like action-packed content. The new patches missions, I'm really excited to try. You know, I'm a headhunter lover, so I don't know. The thing I'm most excited for is the Nutcracker.
Nutcracker, yeah. Looks fun.
That mission, because I like to do mining all the time, that mission's gonna be fun. That you have to like, it's a staged mission where you gotta bring the whole thing back up is going to be awesome. So it's not gonna be like a 1, 2, 3 thing. So it's gonna be fun fighting off people, getting through it, mining and fighting while you're doing that. That's just everything that I love in Star Citizen wrapped around to one. Combat and mining. Perfect. Hawthorne was like a little taste, but this one is like gonna be the be all for me. I'll be doing it all the time.
I think it's the Nutcracker and Hatter is kind of very similar thing.
In a sense, but the Nutcracker looks like it's gonna be 10 times harder.
Yeah.
By the way, if there's a Headhunters mission attached to the Nutcracker, it needs to be
Yes,
called
we're talking
These
about the
Nuts,
Rock Cracker.
because why not?
Yes.
Thank you, Isoro, for that. Yes, we're talking about the Rock Cracker mission that was talked about in CitizenCon. I've nicknamed it the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Because we nickname it like Stormbreaker to us is Stormy Warmy.
Yeah.
Hathor is just Hathor.
So one of the missions is going to be coming in the ASD story with new stations. So I don't know how this is going to be similar to like ASD we've got in Stanton right now. So I'm assuming it's going to be similar kind of thing. They're going to be building up over time and extended it. Hopefully there's going to be some boss on the end. I can see that's where they could put in Vandal, maybe breaking out from like a prison or something. They've got them testing on them. It would be cool. And then you need to kill a couple Vandal. They're coming out from different angles kind of thing with, melee weapons or something. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, some FPS Vandal attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. They're gonna have a Levski Municipal Works. So I think the ASD is gonna come out, and the Rock Crackers is gonna be the next one, like two months later. But the Levski Municipal Works and the Tactical Strike thing, I think that's gonna need to wait until instancing is gonna come out. So this is gonna be like later on.
I wanted to volunteer Mormon.
Yes.
When we do that one org mission that's like designed like the Death Star, you're going in there, you know that, right? That's all on you. When I watched that, I was like, yep, that's Mormon. There's Mormon.
What, you mean the trench run?
Yeah.
Yeah, the trench run. You gotta go in the trench run and destroy the core.
And you're gonna
That's
need to
you all
use
day.
So
Polaris.
just me solo.
Yes,
No,
in
we're
Polaris.
gonna go
It's
in
fine.
there. Who else are we gonna send in there with him? Well, no, we got Ice. Ice can go in there too. I've seen him fly before. Yep, volunteering the both of you. There you go.
I can imagine us. Okay, send Mormon. Oh, he didn't come up. Send Ison. Send people until
can't
someone
send
comes
Villain.
out. Why? I'll just stay
Villain
there.
smacked into the side of a station.
Villain can be the patsy.
Okay. I was already
Be the human
thinking.
shield.
I was thinking how to fix it. I would just take a railgun when I fly there, and stop. Just get out and use a railgun to destroy everything that needs to be killed.
You'll die.
Why?
Because your ship will be broken by distortion damage
No,
inside the
it
facility.
just stops there, right? Doesn't do damage. It just distorts your thing. So you just get out.
Distortion damage
No.
stops your electrical components from working.
We're gonna have engineering when
Oh,
trench run
I see
comes
what you're
out,
saying.
So
So
it's going to destroy your components and everything.
so you will turn off your railgun as well. Okay, I'll take
I don't know if it's
grenades.
your railgun.
I'll take grenades with me. It's fine.
No, we just gotta
Yes,
go
I
in and
zero.
fight.
It's the distortion damage drains the power from your ship and stops it from working.
Hmm.
I don't know if there are internal turrets. Did you see internal turrets in the video?
I'd have to
You mean-
rewatch it.
In the trench run?
Potentially.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's gonna make me go to the video real quick.
I'm not sure that we're, but maybe we'll need
There
to
are-
wait and
there
see.
are
They
turrets
didn't
on-
finish it yet, so.
There are turrets on the outside. I don't think there are turrets on the inside, and you only take damage from the distortion inside. There's no turrets, as far as I can remember. There is a giant explosion at the end. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Quote Jackie Chan from Jackie Chan Adventures on the way out, saying "Bad day, bad day, bad day." I don't know if anyone watched that, or if I'm just alone in that reference. But
You might be.
it'd be fun to escape that. All by myself.
Yeah. And Vandul ship. I've been digging into the Vandul thing to see which one was it. So from my research at the moment, it's called the Hunter, and it's about size of Javelin. It's just thicker, a little bit thicker. So it's gonna be a big ship. So I'm thinking one Idris not gonna manage it. I think you're gonna need to have like 3 capital ships to deal with that. So I'm assuming the one that's already there, the Idris from the previous guys, and two more big ships. Yeah, no, maybe. We'll see.
I think it.
Hmm.
We don't really know enough about the Vandal ships to predict that.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Have you watched our streams? All we do is making stuff up as we go. What's gonna happen in the future?
Like I think if it is javelin size, you'll need at least 2 Idris class or equal ships. I think at that point, when that's out, hopefully engineering will be in. You'll need to think a lot more about having heavy, medium, and light fighters focusing on different things, like taking out fighters attacking the ship, which would be light fighters and mediums, and then heavy fighters focusing on turrets on capital ships and gunships to take them out to protect light fighters. You just have to consider those things more at that point when engineering comes out.
Or we just board it and kill everything on it.
Yeah. ICER is saying it's they've got those little ball of coolant in the station, and then when they're he's referring back to the strike teams, the strike group strike,
the trench run.
So there's coolant tanks you have to take out, and then you blow up the central reactor. Sorry, what were you saying, Villain? I didn't.
We were just talking about just boarding and Van Doel ship, and just go back from instance back to the universe and just start causing trouble. That's what I want. Just kidnap the whole big ship.
I'm wondering if they'll ever bring in Vandal boarding parties, and only because the design of the Vandal boarding pod is to cut into the hull of your ship, create a seal, and the Vandal will walk in. And the way they've designed the ships, I feel like that's going to be really hard for them. To implement the way it is in Squadron.
What would be hard is the syncing of the animation, because if they have it on in Squadron 42 boring into certain ships, then I feel like maybe that's the only type of ships Van Doel will board onto, which is like the Javelin we saw in the Squadron 42 demo. Right? It was the Javelin they boarded onto, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they could have points on there that Van Doel can board into, and it'll destroy that and change it into a different aspect. They'll do an explosion and it can change assets.
I think it's doable. It could be an alpha mask situation, where you hide a texture and allow people to pass through it, because the way that they cut in is through laser cutters, like the way you see on the Squadron. So it's a very clean cut, which means an alpha channel would be a really good solution, and you wouldn't have to necessarily change the hull of a ship to get it to work.
Exactly.
I'm thinking I thought about two different ways, but they're gonna need to gamify it. It's not gonna be like in Squadron. It's just not gonna happen. So one,
I think it could with capital ships. I feel like all other boarding parties will be done by docking doors. Just like the ship that they're coming out with, and that's how it's gonna work.
So how I've seen it, like in my head at least, the one option they can bypass it a little bit and just do it clamps onto the docking port basically, and just use a docking thing. Or the other option, it just gamify, just teleport them in through the hull and do some kind of damage on the outside, and kind of falls off and flies into the space, and they're already on board. That's the only other way. But clamping on and cutting the hull in, not gonna happen.
It's very hard to do.
It would be to all ships. If they're gonna keep it to a ship like the Bengal and the Javelin, not even a ship like the Idris or Polaris, I wouldn't be opposed to that, and they wouldn't even target a ship like the Idris or Polaris. They would only target the bigger ships to want to take out the big boys, and that's why.
To be honest, it would need to be a ship with corridors and narrower parts of the chassis of the ship for it to work anyway. So it would need to be a large ship for it to be feasible.
If they go in that direction, I feel like it will be specific ships. That's how I feel about it. And then all other boarding will be done through port doors on ships.
I'll be okay with them gamifying it, flies in, touches it, they teleport them in, and the pod just flows off and they're already on board, and there's some damage.
The Vandal just appears like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah.
I'm here.
At least that way, it actually would be possible.
Yeah. No, I can see a few ways of doing it. I don't know if they'll actually ever do it or not. I think more than likely they'll do what we saw in the municipal works, where they'll have a pod that's already in there and they've already boarded when you arrive. More than likely, rather than do it on live ships. I think it'd be harder to do that. They may take the easier route to begin with if they are ever going to do it.
Most
Or
likely.
they could just give some Vanduls stole some boarding ships, some regular boarding ships.
What's the
Shows up in a
one?
Legionnaire. Like,
That's the
look at that
one.
new ship.
Yep.
Just spray painting on the Vandal ship.
Hold on, that's not Greg. That's a Vandal.
Uh,
Yeah. One thing that I'm not annoyed by, but that I'm not particularly fond of in the way they've done things is I love the fact that they're doing NYX skeletally. They're going to build on it as you go. But I would love it much more if they'd finished Pyro off a bit more than they have. Because right now, Pyro is so underutilized.
but it's completed.
not-
What are you talking about? It's done. Then move into the
No.
next thing.
I
When was,
agree with.
when was
I
the last
agree with Mormon.
solar flare you saw?
Oh yeah, okay.
I agree with Mormon.
Yeah.
It is very not finished, and they could touch it up more. But hopefully, with the Planet Tech coming in, Vulcan coming in, and all this stuff, hopefully Pyro gets the love it needs to finish it off to the system that it should be. With the danger that's there, because it doesn't have its biggest danger, which is the solar.
Yeah, I don't know why they took it out. Was that just performance thing
It's
or
partly due to engineering, I
Engineering.
imagine.
okay?
Because imagine if now you get caught by a solar flare, what the hell are you going to do if your ship goes down? There's no way to repair it.
The temporary version.
You're just going
of
to get stuck in space.
Exactly. The temporary version of solar flares, from what I saw from people who played the Pyro Playground, was it would disable your ship for like a couple seconds and then it would come back online.
Yeah.
So only if you were like this high from the ground would it be deadly for you to get hit. But if you were like really high, you'd be floating and then it'd come back online before you hit the ground.
It actually depended on the ship. Some ships
really?
would just, some ships would just stop working. They would never come back on.
Every Drake
It
ship.
wasn't necessarily light versus large ships. It could be any ship. Some random ships would just never turn back on, and some ships would just fall out of the sky and then turn on just before you hit the ground. So it was kind of hit or miss. But they could do it that way for all ships just to make it feasible. But maybe they just want it for the engineering, like Isira said. Yeah, I know. So I love the whole NYX direction. I just wish they had done more with Pyro before. But I'm happy with the plan for NYX.
What they mentioned it, I think they said they're not gonna only focus on the NYX, so they're gonna drop the Siege of Orison, so that's gonna add something back to the. And I'm hoping something similar they're gonna add it into Pyro, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I totally believe that NYX is only going to add to what they can, provide for the other two systems. But lately, it's felt like, although Pyro came out and that's great, most of the focus has actually been on Stanton since it's come out, which is kind of ironic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's great they're still focusing on another system, but they dropped Pyro, created a few missions for it, and then for the last few patches, it's just been Stanton.
To be fair, yeah, for like the only thing I go to Pyro is like, I need a part, so I'm gonna do Contested Zone, which is on the thing, or Stormy Wormy. That's it. I don't do anything else.
Yeah, Isira is right. Siege of Orison is going to come with instancing, so we won't see Siege of Orison back in until we get instancing in the game.
Yeah.
I think Siege of Orison by end of Q2, beginning of Q3. Maybe mid Q2.
Sounds about right. It will fit because they mentioned they won't put the tactical strike in halfway June, July, right? And they're gonna need to have an instancing for that. So yeah, more and less.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't touch on was instancing. Go ahead, Mormon.
I don't think you necessarily need instancing for the tactical group strikes. I think it would benefit greatly from it. And that would be the quantum instancing they were talking about.
Yep.
Because then you could have everything run really smoothly. But I don't think that necessarily needs it to release. It might be more buggy without it, of course. And a lot of people are nervous about the instancing, but I think they're not realizing they're not reducing scope with instancing. They are scaling scope, I think is the more accurate way of describing it. You come into the game, you log in, you get in your ship, you get off the planet, large scope. You see the whole planetary system. You can go wherever you want. You can explore a planet. And then halfway through your journey, you're like, oh, I want to do this. You fly into the hangar. You go to your instance mission. The scope has shrunk to what you need it to be for what you're doing. No loading screens, exploration, combat, mining, engineering. All the gameplay is still there. The exploration is still there. The scope just scales with you. And I think people are a bit nervous about instancing, but nothing's actually changed. They're just making it more playable.
For me, the big thing
Yeah.
about instancing, the best thing is Siege of Horizon. 20 people, it's being moved from the server, so the whole system servers are better because there's 20 less player on it. And these guys got their own server, which the performance is still better. So both, there's win-win situation basically. Performance better on both sides.
The only question mark is with instancing, it's more server implementation. And I think the indications on a business level is server costs, how they're going to fund the game post launch. Are they going to get rid of ship sales completely? Is it going to be a subscription to maintain those servers? Because dynamic server meshing is going to be quite a heavy load with how many instances they might need. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of server maintenance. They're going to have to figure out a way to support that. And although the tech is amazing, I think the biggest concern would be how they're going to fund that, because they have had backers for 12 years. And if they turn around at the end and say, now you've got to pay for the game,
I think
every month, it might rub people the wrong way, but it might be something they have to do, or they keep selling ships. They've got to either keep their promise they've made, or they've got to start charging people some sort of subscription.
I'm thinking
I think those
they're gonna use money from Squadron 42 to use that profits to run the servers for now, and they're hoping for a lot of new players influx. I think that's what they're counting on at the moment, at least.
If I would have made the money they made developing this game,
you would be a rich person.
I'd have made a deal with whatever big server company that could handle my game, and I'd strike a contract with them in percentage deals of money. I feel like that's something they might be doing to cut cost on server costs, because their scale game is too big. I've run game servers, and I had my own server PCs that were beefy. It takes a lot. It does. It is not an easy thing to maintain. It is not, and it does get expensive. We were paying $1,000 a month for our servers in a data center. That's just a small example for someone small like me. Imagine how many servers they have, and all we had was 20 server PCs. Okay? But imagine how many server PCs they need and things. So they would have to what I'm saying is they would have to cut a deal with a server company, talking about they're going to cut them on price point, percentage in sales. Has to be something like that so you don't kill yourself, because every studio out here, their biggest thing when they make a multiplayer game is, how are we going to fund the servers being run all the time, especially if you're a live service game. So what most of those games do is they think of microtransactions, because that's the only way to pay for your servers, besides getting that huge flux of people wanting to buy your game. So usually they do skins and paints and special content like that you can just buy outright, which Star Citizen already does. To keep that formula, I feel like they'll be good, but they might have to do something like a subscription system.
As Salty Mike's brought this up before with skins in Star Citizen. You've got to think about insurance and things like that, and how I think he made the point that they should separate skins and armor types from each other. So that you can actually just insure the armor type and apply the skin to the armor, rather than have an individual armor set that is that skin like it is now. And that way you could buy the skin and you can insure the armor in the game, but if you buy a new piece of armor, you still have that skin blueprint to apply to the armor. Because
Yeah,
it's the
We
same
kind of have
model.
that with we kind of have that with ship paints. I don't know why they don't do that with
Yeah.
armor.
And that'd be a smarter way of doing it, because that way insurance wouldn't have any drawbacks for having a skin from the store, and your skin is always applicable as long as you have that armor, or an armor that is compatible with the skin that you've bought. Because there are some skins that can be more compatible with multiple armors. So if it's just a red and gold tinted armor, for example, that's just two colors. You can apply that to most armors. But if it's a image based armor, it might be more specialized to two types, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
No,
totally.
I feel like that's if they want to do something in the future, they should go down that route. I think that is a smarter route.
And
That they come from Salt Mike. That was a really good take because yeah, tying the paint to the armor is not a smart choice, or to a gun, or to a ship. It's not smart. The paint should be an individual item source.
Yeah, of course.
And talking about the skins, we're gonna do a small segue into new patch just dropped today.
Yes, sir.
Huh? New skin for the game. that was a real stretch for a segue there. I love it. That was great.
Skins, there's skins here. Boom, straight line. I don't know how you don't see it. So those
I
are
love the improvisation here, by the way, villain, with the camera on the right corner. Carry on.
end time. So
Why don't you do the full screen one?
is it not full screen?
Join
It
this.
should be on full screen. Oh no!
Oh, you're on the one.
Save. I think it was on my side. It's full screen. I don't know why it's not showing on the. Why is this is so complicated? There we go. Can you see it now? Full screen.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. New skins. Any thoughts? I know you guys are skin people.
Oh, I see. I'm actually not that bothered about skins. I don't really buy them that often. But me and Villain are very opposed to each other on our opinion of these skins. I really like the Headhunters one. I think in this case less is more. I like the grayscale armor with the red accenting. I'm not a fan of the CFP. The CFP, I would agree with you there, Villain. That is just lazy. It's.
I
don't want to look like a space cop.
When I say stuff like this, I get so much flack. But like with Mormons,
Yeah, but Villain,
fine.
your default is wrong. No, I'm kidding. No, I just mean like with the CFP, it's very one note. It's all one color. But at least with the Headhunters, it looks like they've stolen the ship and spray painted it on.
Yeah, the
You know what I mean?
Headhunters look like a hipster a little bit.
I like the Headhunters
Yeah,
one. It looks badass.
That's the one I'm gonna go for. Headhunter ones. I'm not gonna be doing two like the last
I'm
time.
gonna buy a
just the
spirit
one.
in game just so I can have that paint on the spirit, and I'm gonna buy my arrow again so I can have that.
See, those two for me, they look.
It's not
I
about
have
the
the
colors, Ice. It's
NPC.
about the style.
They
Yes,
look lazy.
style.
Those skins for me. They could have put a little bit more
No,
effort.
that's just the faction. That's just their faction gear, and I'm glad they finally sat on a color for these two factions because they really did not have a color. So
They're
now
stealth.
Headhunter is red, and now Prosperity is blue.
Plus 10 to
I
plus 10
don't
to
do
stealth.
stealth. I do wild shouting and pew pew. Okay.
Villain, if you
I am
want,
a
hit
headhunter.
three dots on your Google Chrome and just zoom it in a bit.
I can zoom it in.
You know, make the page bigger. No, just on the three dots right there.
Isn't it just F11 when it zooms in?
No,
You
Better.
get full screen with F11.
yeah, like that. There you go.
See, so what the thing I'm disappointed, like the Headhunters, it's all about their aesthetic. They've got skulls on, right? I don't see any skulls in here.
The skull is the enemies you leave behind, Villain.
No, I
That's
take.
their clothing.
I collect their skulls. I've got like a special
Yeah.
That's
cupboard.
their clothing, though, sir.
I thought it was
See, if
just
the
more.
Citizens for Prosperity would have been any other color, I probably would have gone with them. But I don't like the navy blue.
I do agree with Villain that there could be like some skulls tied to the front of the ship or
Yeah,
something.
or you know, like
Like the reavers from
mm,
Firefly.
Firefly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, like in Second World War, they've been like painting how many planes you shot down on the side, kind of thing. You know, kind of skulls. And got like a counter. How many did you shot down? Something like that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like when I say I like the Headhunters, I'm not saying it's the best skin I've ever seen. It's not mind blowing. I just think it looks better than the CFP, just in general. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying the CFP is necessarily bad. It's boring, but it's not bad. It's just not my cup of tea.
It looks like a police officer, man. Just give him a
That's
badge.
how I feel.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the Headhunters look almost like they've stolen it and they've branded it, which suits their aesthetic and the lore. CFP are supposed to be frontier living people that settle on planets and small places and things like that. But theirs is very official, which I don't really think would match it. I think it would be similar to the Headhunters. It should be like
a militia,
a rush job with a militia logo.
Yeah.
And that would be more suitable. But that looks very official. You know what I mean?
They, from my understanding, they're trying to put in some kind of order or something, but like that looks.
Yeah.
This looks Stanton like Crusader kind for me.
Yeah, maybe a bit too
official.
Well done. Yeah.
Let's have a look. See, new ships, obviously.
All right.
New
any opinions on these ships?
I've not flown any of them yet, so hard to say.
I have flown the Stinger.
I heard you loved it.
It had a rough launch. It felt like crap. it was really bad.
Please don't hold back. Just tell us what you really think.
It's just because they did a very CIG thing. The marketing specifically said, this ship is for those who don't want maneuverability. They want to be there for the fight and last. I get in the ship, I go and do a level 3 mission, and I'm not a terrible pilot. I'm not amazing, but I'm good enough that I can do a low level mission and be fine. I'm telling you, man, the shields went down in seconds, the wing came off, and I was spinning like crazy. And that happened on multiple missions. It just didn't have any endurance, and it couldn't move, so it was useless. It just didn't do what it said on the tin. And if CIG are going to market something, they need to make sure that it matches what they're selling, because people spend money on this stuff.
But think about, like, if that's how Vandal ships are, we should not be afraid of their invasions. You just shoot them in the wing, boom, done.
Shut up, villain.
Me and my logic and can't
believe
this.
Can't believe you just said something like that.
New pack. Okay, is that not Wicklow set?
No, that is the
That's
combat
the new armor.
Yeah, but Wicklow's got new armor as well. But I thought
that's not the Wicklow one.
Okay, maybe similar one.
Yeah.
And
a lot of the military styled armors look very similar. It's all just different variations of camouflage.
Overall, I kind of like this armor. It looks like,
I think it's the most militaristic looking armor they've released.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Looks really dope. I like it.
And we've got just the missions, recon starting, and a little bit of lore. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill Amelia Boyd.
I'm gonna get her.
I'm gonna
put her on the ground.
Even if she's helping, he's gonna still kill her.
I was surprised they were getting NYX next month. There's a lot coming. They weren't playing around.
So this is what I'm hoping. Next week, I'm hoping the new patch with NYX gonna go to Evo or to like PTU, so we can finally have a look.
But villain, you're allergic to the PTU. You're not allowed to be on the PTU.
But I'm just gonna have a look.
No, you're
Come have a
cooking
look-see.
hives. You can't do it.
Salito looks.
I said I don't have a patience for it. That's what I said before, for all the bugs and
This is
whatnot.
true. I will back him on that. He says he does not
You know
have the
what?
patience for the PTU.
I think the one bug that you're going to get, villain, is you're going to try and jump to NYX, and the jump gate won't work. And me and
Not
Maddie,
for
we're going to
you.
be in a different server, maybe even in the same server, and we're just going to go right on through it.
Yeah.
I'm going to wave back to you and be like, "Bye, villain."
I would
Bye.
I would not be surprised at all.
And at that point, you'll just log off the PT, you go back on live, and just
Yeah, delete
Kill
the
all
whole
your Maddie.
server. Yeah.
yeah.
Delete the whole server. Okay, I think that was it what we wanted to cover this week. Mormon, it was
Yeah, that was it for this week.
great to having you, our first guest. We're hoping you're gonna show up once or twice more,
I
maybe
might
more.
just creep up on you and you're not expecting it. Why not?
Oh shit.
Just to show up.
Yeah,
Just
thank you, Mormon,
display.
for coming out and taking your time from your day to be in the podcast with us. You're welcome anytime, my brother.
Yeah, and you
Really
guys
appreciate your insights.
remember to subscribe, follow all shebang down in the comments. Put some.
Chill.
Join the Discord, hop in VC. Come play with us. We're gonna be hopping on the new patch today, so if you fancy
Yeah.
playing some Star Citizen,
I'm going to kill myself some of your Mandy.
Yeah. All right,
yes,
guys,
that's what I'm wishing to.
take care, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Right.